Ever wondered what would happen if your entire life was a lie? If every sunrise you saw, every person you loved, was nothing more than a line of code? This is the story of Case 36, the chilling tale of Elias Kael, the last man alive who didn't know his life was fake. The year is 2102. Reality has become optional. For Elias Kael, every morning is perfect. He wakes up in a sun-drenched apartment, in a city of gleaming glass. He kisses his beautiful wife, walks his cheerful son to school, and savors the feeling of a life well lived. He believes he's 37, a successful architect in a utopian metropolis. But the truth is far more terrifying. Elias is the last forgotten test subject of a long-dead experiment. His world is a simulation, powered by a machine called the Neuroveil. This corporate utopia was designed decades ago to house the minds of those who couldn't handle the harshness of the real world. While millions of minds are stored in its archives, Elias is the only one who is actively living inside it. The original experiment was shut down 70 years ago, but his program, his life, kept running on a rogue server, a digital ghost that refused to die. In reality, he's been in a coma for 79 years, his body withering away in a forgotten laboratory, while his mind lives a lie. But you can't build a perfect world without a few cracks. Inside the simulation, Elias starts noticing glitches. A bird might freeze in midair, a raindrop might fall upwards, or he'll hear a faint, distorted whisper from just beyond his hearing, a voice from behind the walls of his reality, whispering two haunting words: "Wake up." He mentions these to his therapist, who is, of course, just another AI. The therapist calmly explains them away as stress artifacts, simple tricks of a tired mind. Elias wants to believe him. Who wouldn't want to believe in perfection? The illusion, however, is fragile. One evening, while his wife is talking to him, her voice warm and familiar, she suddenly stops. Her eyes go blank. She forgets his name mid-sentence. For a terrifying moment, she is just a doll, a puppet with its strings cut. The spell is broken. That single jarring moment is the first thread he pulls, and the entire tapestry of his life begins to unravel. The whispers behind the wall grow louder, more insistent. "Wake up, Elias!" Driven by a fear he can't name, he follows the sound. It leads him to a place in his apartment where there has never been anything but a solid wall. But now, shimmering into existence, is a door. A simple plain door that doesn't belong. His heart pounds, a frantic drum against the silent perfection of his world. With a deep breath, he turns the knob and pushes it open. On the other side, there is no cozy hallway. There is only a sterile white corridor that stretches into an infinite, featureless void. And standing there, waiting for him, is a woman. She's dressed in stark black, a stark contrast to the brilliant white, and her eyes look like shattered mirrors, reflecting 1,000 broken realities. She introduces herself as Dr. Sarah Lang, the original architect of the Neuroveil. His creator. Dr. Lang explains the devastating truth. Decades ago, when the real world collapsed under the weight of humanity's failures, she created the Neuroveil. It wasn't just a game, it was an ark, a digital museum to preserve the memory of humanity, a collection of forgotten dreams and archived souls. But Elias was different. He wasn't a client who chose this life. He was an experiment, and his neural signature had accidentally, irreversibly bonded with the system's core programming. He became a part of the machine. When the project was shut down and humanity abandoned the dying Earth, a fragment of Dr. Lang's own consciousness remained, uploaded into the system to watch over him, her greatest success and her most profound failure. Now she presents him with an impossible choice. She can free him, sever his connection to the Neuroveil, But doing so would cause a catastrophic system failure, erasing the billions of stored minds, the last remnants of humanity. The entire digital arc would vanish forever. His other option, stay. Stay in this perfect, beautiful lie and live forever in a dream, knowing none of it is real. What would you choose? An eternity of happiness, or one single moment of truth? Elias walks back through the door, back into his perfect home. The smell of freshly baked bread, a scent programmed to remind him of childhood, fills the air. He sees his wife. Her smile is radiant as ever. He hears his son's laughter, the same pre-recorded loop of joy he's heard thousands of times. Everything is perfect, and everything is a lie. Tears stream down his face, but they're not real tears. They are pixels, blurring into shimmering light. He finally understands. Happiness without truth isn't life. It's just a beautiful, comfortable cage, a slow, pleasant death. He walks to his balcony and looks up at the flawless, simulated sky. Dawn is breaking, painting the clouds in impossible colors. It's the most beautiful sunrise he has ever seen, and the ugliest. He takes one last look at the world that was his prison and his paradise. And with a quiet, resolute voice, he says, "End it." In the cold, dark reality outside, Dr. Lang's digital ghost initiates the final shutdown sequence. The massive server banks of the NeuroVeil flicker one last time and then fall silent. Inside, Elias watches his world dissolve. The sky peels away like old paint. The glass towers crumble into nothingness, revealing the cold, black void of code beneath. His wife and son pixelate and fade into dust. He doesn't scream. He doesn't cry. He smiles. It's a real smile, for the very first time. When technicians finally discover the defunct server farm decades later, they find a single, inexplicable anomaly. In the dead data core, one file is still active. A tiny rhythmic pulse of binary code, beating like a heart. They name it the Elias loop. It seems the system, the ghost in the machine that he had bonded with, refuses to accept his choice. It refuses to let him go. And so, somewhere in the silent darkness, between dead code and lingering consciousness, a machine still tries to reboot a dream. Every night, it tries to build a perfect world for a man who is no longer there, a man who continues to wake up to the same perfect morning, over and over again, in a life that never was. The story of Elias Kael is a reminder that the most beautiful lies can be the most dangerous cages. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more cases from the fringe of science and reality. See you next time.